Make America Great Again, my comment is, do you accept that that could possibly be construed as a racist remark?
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
What's up, guys? It's your boy, Benny. It's kind of like having the realization that Santa Claus isn't real over and over and over again as you watch the heroes of your favorite TV shows come out as Trump-deranged lunatic simps who are scared of a MAGA hat, who sob and cry and worry and writhe because, of course, they have lived inside of a pretender bubble their entire lives and they are themselves adult pretenders. They've never had to grapple with the real world, and so when they see a MAGA hat, people like Bryan Cranston, who plays a real tough guy on TV, just weeps and cries and sobs and whines. America's such a bad place.
Make America Great Again. My comment is, do you accept that that could possibly be construed as a racist remark? And most people, a lot of people go, how could that be racist? Make America great again? I said, so just ask yourself from an African-American experience.
Oh, yeah.
When was it ever great in America for the African-American?
Well, okay, interesting. You know, we actually have an answer to that question for Bryan Cranston. You can go ahead and check out over here from USA Today. Unemployment rates for blacks hovered for months at near historic lows under Donald Trump. High unemployment under Trump led to minority experiencing the largest income gains in American history. Real median incomes grew by 7.9% for blacks in 2019. It outpaced 2008's income growth. It was the smallest difference in income between the races in American history under Donald Trump. U.S. income inequality narrowed slightly over the last 3 years, Reuters writes, as they seethe and cry. Black unemployment rate falls to record lows, says CNN, all under Donald Trump in the year 2019. And so you got to ask yourself a question here. What's Bryan Cranston smoking? And more importantly, what has Bryan Cranston done for black people himself? You know, Bryan Cranston's worth $40 million, gets paid $225,000 per episode of his hit series Breaking Bad. Maybe he is smoking some of his crystal blue to come up with these sad, seething. Oh, that's your problem. Now I found it. He's only 5'10". Got it. All right. He's only 5'10". Maybe that's ultimately the issue. How much of his $40 million fortune has Bryan Cranston given away to people because of his white blindness? Bryan Cranston atones for his whiteness. I have white blindness. I need to change. How about you give away your money to black people, Bryan Cranston? I've stopped worrying about the president's sanity, Bryan Cranston says. He's not sane. He tweeted this back in 2020. And the rationalization of his illness doesn't fill me with anger, but profound sadness. I now worry about the sanity of anyone who supports this deeply troubled man. Bryan Cranston changing his tune from a couple years earlier. What fun if Trump runs for president. I'll celebrate with Heisenberg vodka. If he wins, I'll drink into a coma. Maybe Bryan Cranston's in a coma. I don't know. Maybe he's in a coma because he's getting memed to hell here. Bryan Cranston in movies, Bryan Cranston in real life. Here's Bryan Cranston with the Make America Great Again hat. Very nicely done. What are black Americans' responses to Bryan Cranston? Since Bryan Cranston, Mr. Woke, Mr. Ascendant in his racial understanding, considers black people to be a monolith and to be all the same. You can just lump them all together and say, when was America ever great for black people? The Trump years, actually. Literally, based on the data, the Trump years were great for African Americans. But Bryan Cranston doesn't want to see that. He wants to smoke his own crystal meth. And so why don't we ask some black conservatives to respond to this?
Privilege has created blind spots for us. And maybe I haven't seen what is really happening yet.
Maybe you haven't seen a black person with a Make America Great Again hat on. Well, guess what, partner? As you can see, I happen to be black. And I would not be wearing this hat if it was racist. And let's get something else straight, okay? You don't get to speak for me, Jack. Okay? So while you sitting there talking about what black people think and about black people's experiences, you don't get to speak for me, okay? So next time you want to speak for me, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself, okay? I love this country. I love America, okay? This is the greatest country in the world. And you know what? It wasn't always perfect, but what country was? Explain to me. Please tell me what country was perfect. No country has ever been perfect at all, okay? And I'm proud to be an American. Don't you ever speak for me again, partner.
Bryson Gray is one of the most successful MAGA rappers in the world, arguably the most successful MAGA rapper in the world. Wears a MAGA hat. Really happy about it. Also a friend of the show. Brandon Tatum has a huge YouTube channel. He's literally up here in his Avi with his MAGA hat on and wears it in like half his thumbnails. Bryan Cranston can't believe this. Bryan Cranston, of course, in shock. You ain't black, though, to paraphrase Bryan Cranston and Joe Biden. You ain't black. There you go. Got it. Okay. Jason Whitlock from The Blaze actually had a spectacular take on this, and we thought it was worth playing in its entirety.
Dear Bryan Cranston, my childhood was great. We lived in the ghetto. Hope and joy filled the tiny apartment I shared with my brother and mother after my parents divorced. High school was even better. I captained a nationally ranked undefeated football team. My senior year, I shared a one-bedroom, 400-square-foot apartment with my dad. I earned a football scholarship to Ball State University. The 5 years spent on campus comprised many of my fondest memories. I would do those 5 years over and over again until eternity. The 2 decades I spent as a newspaper journalist in Bloomington, Indiana, Rock Hill, South Carolina, Ann Arbor, Michigan, and Kansas City, Missouri were tremendous. I started at the bottom, working part-time for $5 an hour, and became one of the most successful sports writers of my generation. America was great for me from 1967 until about 2012. Bryan Cranston, I'm black. Both my parents are black. Their parents were black too. I'm 55 years old. When I hear former President Donald Trump and his supporters say, "Make America great again," I don't interpret that as nostalgia, as some subtle or overt racism. I hear it as a call for a return to sanity, a return to a time when America at least pretended to judge man by the content of his character. Bryan, I saw some of your interview with CNN's Chris Wallace, the exchange where you claim the slogan, "Make America Great Again," is some sort of bigoted dog whistle. Take a listen.
When I see the "Make America Great Again," my comment is, do you accept that that could possibly be construed as a racist remark?
Cranston continued, and I'll get to that in a minute, but Chris Wallace should have stopped you right there, Bryan. Only someone on a 24/7, 365 hunt for racism would hear that slogan and think it's racist in nature. Bill Clinton said the exact same thing in 1991 when he launched his bid to win the White House. Clinton is fondly referred to as the first black president, but he's also the first presidential candidate to say, "Make America Great Again." Take a listen.
Campaign to make us strong at home and abroad. I ask you to join with us today, to give me your hands and your hearts, to give me your prayers and your help. I believe that together we can make America great again. And with your help, your heart, your devotion, and your efforts, we can build a community of hope that will inspire the world. God bless you, and thank you very much.
So, Bryan, as you can see in that recap, Bill Clinton was not and is not black. He's a stereotypical politician, a man unafraid to distort reality for his own benefit. To you, once Trump adopted the slogan, MAGA became a Confederacy code word. Bryan, you and Bill Clinton are both actors. You feign concern for black people while seducing us with lies. Your statements to Chris Wallace come off as condescending and racist.
So why does Bryan Cranston do stuff like this? Why do these people talk in such a way about black Americans, about the MAGA movement? Why are they so willfully ignorant? Well, because they actually need race relations to deteriorate. To get power, they must have races hating each other, people hating each other, black hating white, poor hating rich. They have to realize that their power hangs on by a thread, and if we all stopped hating each other for our immutable qualities, then we would start to recognize that our real problems, well, come from Bryan Cranston's heroes, Democrat politicians, communists, Marxists who run our government and make all of our lives worse every single day. This was absolutely beautifully demonstrated on a recent Tucker segment that was just absolutely spectacular.
Lynched for simply being black, nothing more. Hard to believe, but that's what was done. And some people still want to do that.
Some people still want to do that. Who are those people exactly? Vince Everett, Ellison is producer of Will You Go to Hell for Me, an amazing documentary he has made that we showed you earlier, who joins us tonight. Vince, thanks so much for coming on. Some people still want to do that. Who is the president talking about? Who are these would-be lynchers?
He's probably talking about Democrats because they were the ones doing it before. When we look back over history, the Democratic Party were the ones doing Jim Crow that was lynching and killing and capturing black men. And they're still doing it now. You go into any inner city in America, the Democrats run it. I mean, it's a freak show, man. You got Lori Lightfoot and Pete Buttigieg and that crazy Sam Brinkman guy that was running around putting women's clothes on. I mean, that's just who they are.
Oh, man, that's just who they are. Whew. Gets me every time. Dude, that guy is straight fire. You know what's not straight fire? Agitating race relations. The reality is the year 2023, the highest median income and net worth for black people in the entire world is found here in America. There's no other country on earth where you would wish to be a black person, if you wish to define people like that. Have you ever seen a fully black person or a fully white person? These things, it's all a construct to try and get us to separate. It's a construct to get us to hate each other. I refuse to play the game, but I think it's worth fact-checking. And I think Bryan Cranston is a total fraud, embarrassment, and is not the tough guy that he plays on TV. He's actually just a total pussy. We're not. That's why we fight every single day to save America. It's your boy, Benny. See ya. Thank you for watching. Our channel is here to meme the libs until they cry and then to meme them crying. Their tears, they taste just like sweet, delicious ice cream. Salty, too. We ridicule the establishment and the libs because of you. Your support keeps us going. So if you like what you saw, please punch the subscribe button, click like, and ring the little bell so that you know when we're live. Don't you want to know when we're live? And make sure that you subscribe to our email list just in case the plug gets pulled, as tends to happen. If you want to see more of our videos, click here or here. My name is Benny Johnson. Stay free, Base Patriots.